What's going on, everybody? It's Dot Bets. We're checking back in. We got the first PGA live stream coming at you guys here on the dot. We got the Sony Open in Hawaii with my main man, formerly known as Teaser Nation, with a little brand change. We got Bet with the Boys now. I'm still going to probably call him Teaser a million times, so he's going to have to get used to that one. But as you guys can see, we are back. We are excited. The 2024 PGA season actually kicked off last week. However, we let that one slide. It hurt my core. Hurt me to my core. Then I was watching that. I was like, man, I don't even have any bets for this. I didn't even look at it. I was too invested in an NFL. But we are back. We got the Sony Open coming to you guys. If you guys have not tuned in before, we usually go over the course attributes, the stats that we want to go and attack this week. And then we go over some DFS strategy throughout. And we give our placements, our outrights, and some first-round leaders. And we go from there. Last year we had I think we had like 17 outright winners or something like that. It was absurd. We were on one of the hottest streaks ever. So if you guys remember that, leave a comment. We should get back onto that run for sure for you guys. Teaser, how are we feeling tonight, buddy?
Good, man. I had a couple bets last week. And I had Jordan Spieth. We're already getting off to, an outright sweat this year. It was kind of unlucky. I mean, Chris Kirk just kind of stole it from everyone. He played pretty well. So, I'm looking forward to the season. It's going to be a good one. And, we're switching to Tuesdays this year. So that'll kind of give everyone a chance to, get plays in more and get some more value. Because, the Wednesday nights kind of just cram it in last second. So we'll kind of give more time for whoever watches to, get it in and see the board, stuff like that.
Yeah. I should have noted that. Yeah. So we're usually on Wednesday nights if you guys have been watching the last couple seasons, but we wanted to give you guys a little bit more time to digest what we're giving out, and then also give it a little bit more shelf life. So hopefully we get some more views. So going on Tuesday nights from here on out, had to switch it up this week, but it's nice. We got the Wednesday time slot, but we do have a later slate lock for the DFS side with I think the noon Eastern time or noon Central time.
Around that, yeah.
It's in Hawaii. So, all right. So let's dive in to the course itself. Probably one of the biggest things about this course is if you've been here before, you have a huge advantage over the rest of the field. And if you have not, you just don't know all the little nuances of this. So break it down for us. Bet with the boys. Break it down.
Yeah, man. So it's called Waialae Country Club. It's pretty much the exact opposite of what we saw last week, which, everyone knows, long course last week. You can hit every fairway. They go 30 under every year like we saw last week. This one could potentially be in the 20s. It could potentially be, low, teens, around 10 to 13, depending on the wind. It's a pretty tight course, but it rains a lot in Hawaii, obviously, but it still plays firm and fast. So fairways and greens are still pretty fast. A lot of dog legs and firm tree lines and tight tree lines. forces driving accuracy and short game. So I know my card's kind of based off guys with good accuracy and elite short game. I know you'll probably go the same route. Like you said, course history is pretty much the ideal thing here. I kind of looked, 14 players have recorded multiple top 15 finishes in the last 5 years. Kuchar, Connors, Matsuyama, Putnam, Henley, Simpson, and Kazire. Couple comp courses. I just like giving these out just for guys who like that. Sedgefield, which is, I believe, in North Carolina, Sea Island, Georgia, and then Harbor Town, South Carolina, Hilton Head. They're all positional courses with Bermuda grass, and it just favors guys who, hit fairways. So really the key this week is really driving distance has nothing to do with anything here. You don't really need it. So going into that, the key stats, obviously strokes gain approach will always be number one, driving accuracy, number two, par four scoring, I think from 400 to 450, that's where most of the par fours will fall into. And then birdies are better gained because I believe it'll be around 20 under the winner. I know there's going to be potential wind, which we'll talk about later, but I'm sure they'll still score a little bit. So,
yeah, and another emphasis on the people that played last week as well. That's pretty huge early on in the season. Get some reps, especially the people that were already over here in Hawaii, to get used to the golf courses. So previous course history, and then the guys who played last week are probably how I'm going to shape a majority of my DFS lineups. And what Teaser was saying about the accuracy, you don't have to be as accurate off the tee, but the irons definitely need to be. And I think there's only 2 par fives, so don't worry too much about the par five scoring. Everyone's going to go low on those. We should probably look at some to make it eagle bets, because I think we could see.
Yeah, I put eagles in the model as well. That you can kind of see some here and there here. So
yeah, I think that's a good way to go about it this week. We'll talk about some fades and some other guys that I will probably add that to the show, that this year is a little bit of fade action, because that is probably one of the hardest things to do in golf DFS, is to know when to take a stand and just say, I'm just off of this guy, or I'm off of the heaviest owned guy. It's more of strategy, just to have a little bit of a high risk approach to it. But we'll dive into some details on that. I only have top 20s this week. What do you got?
I'm gonna I was honestly struggling a little bit this week in the outright department. I was kind of just overthinking it a little bit, just trying to find value where I could. But I'm gonna have a couple outrights, and then I'll probably around 3 top 20s, maybe 2. But I think I have a couple tournament matchups eyed up. That's another thing for this year. I know I kind of did them last year, but I do kind of want to limit the placements and outrights and kind of focus more on matchups. So that's kind of where I saw the most profit last year, and that's where hopefully a lot of people can tail or take their own, because I think it's very profitable.
Yeah, you're a matchup king, and I like the placements, and I like the outrights as well. But you're not going to hit as many outrights over time as you are placements and then matchups. So I think it's obviously we'll sprinkle the outrights, and we'll give you guys those. But usually I give out either for the Masters, or for the majors, it's top 10s. But this week there is a top 30 market. I didn't see too much there. I'm going to go with the top 20s. I got 3 of them here, and then I got 3 outright bets as well. And I'll sprinkle a couple first round leaders for you guys, and then we'll sprinkle in some DFS talk as well. So let's go. Let's start off with one of your first top 20s of the week. Yeah,
top 20s. I'm going to go back to this guy who won last week, Chris Kirk. I've seen a lot of people on his outright. I just don't think he can win 2 times in a row, so I'm going to stay off the outright. But really, the top 20 market this week is actually pretty good. I saw him at plus 140, so I grabbed that. I saw a lot of value there, just from how he's playing. Obviously, he played 1 last week, so that's good. And then just another thing is, he is a little bit inconsistent here, but he's gotten a 3rd, tied for 2nd, tied for 10th, and a 2nd, along with 4 missed cuts, but that's over a 12-year span. So it's been a little inconsistent, but he has some top finishes, and he's coming in hot, like you said, kind of want to target some guys who are playing well after last week. So, I mean, there's no better guy who is playing better than him right now. So that's my first top 20 of the week.
Yeah, I was surprised to see all of the golf community say, "Hey, we know Kirk won last week, but we're going to go back
Yeah.
to him." And that was our strategy a lot last year. We liked if we went to somebody, even if they sucked, we would say, "That's all right. Let's go back to him." Because a lot of times you would just say, "Oh no, let's go to the let's forget about him," and then all of a sudden he gets a top 10 this next week or an outright win, and you're like, "Shit, I was 1 week too early." So that happens a lot. So make sure that you guys don't just hold a grudge on those guys for screwing you 1 week. And you guys can see on the screen, I did put props.cash out here. They don't do anything with golf. I just use them religiously for every single other bet that I do. So I wanted to shout those guys out. They'll probably be on the screen all throughout the season. If you want to use my code on the dot for 25% off, make sure you guys do that. I've had way too many people use it this season or this year and not even let me know. Because if you sign up, you're just, I'm giving you free VIP as well. So no one has signed up and then DM me, which is wild to me. So please do that because we need to. We need to reward you guys for doing so. Let's get into my first bet. We are going to go with probably the chalkiest of the chalk bet, but I just don't know how this doesn't hit. We're going to go my main man. This is one of my favorite golfers on tour, Corey Connors. Plus 140 for a whole unit here on the top 20 market. You're going to probably see this everywhere if you haven't already. It just makes too much sense. He hasn't, last 4 times here, he's a 12, 11, a 12, and a 3. So this time he'll probably get like a 65. That's just how it goes. But with everything, we got a 33 last week at the Century. Another big boost. He played last week. Great course history. It just makes all the sense in the world to back Corey Connors here. I'm not going to go outright, but I see this is the best top 20 on the board, in my opinion. So plus 140, take that for a full unit. What do you got for your? I got 2 more top 20s. What do you got?
I have 2 more as well for right now. I think I'll stick with 2 more. So
okay.
So my next one, I don't believe he played last week. I would have to double check. But this guy, Justin Rose at plus 180.
Buddy.
Yeah, once again, I don't know. I've never really been kind of a big fan of betting him. I'm always, on that off week. He's been inconsistent, but he's been playing some good golf as of late. But, the course history here is pretty good. I think he's played here 5 times, but it's 2005 to 2017. So it's from 20 years ago, but tied for second in 17, a 13th, and a 12th. So he really hasn't played here in 6 years. I actually didn't even realize that till right now. But he does play where he kind of fits the mold of it. Accuracy off the tee, and elite short game, can get up and down from anywhere when he needs to. But yeah, if you look at I'm kind of looking at the driving stats right now. Just the accuracy that he gains at this course. One year he was up 14% from the field, so that's pretty good. 8% here. So as long as you're hitting fairways and staying out of the tree lines, it'll be a good week. So
yep, that is my exact same top 20. There is Justin Rose, and I will have him as another pick here in the show. He is my one and done. So if you guys are in one of those, I'm going with Justin Rose today. I don't understand why he hasn't played this more often. Maybe he just wants a little bit more extended break than normal. But he said he had some good post or pre-tournament or a post-tournament at the Century after he posted a very, very low score on Sunday and said, "Hey, my game is in top shape. I'm ready to go." I'd like to try to use those little tidbits after post-game rounds and just to see where people are at in their game. And Justin Rose seems pretty confident, and he gets an early time slot. And speaking of DFS lineups, you're probably going to want to target, especially for first round leaders. We'll get into that. And their early Thursday tee times should have an advantage. You got 20 to 25 mile an hour winds throughout the day, increasing throughout the day. So get those guys who are early on. It's still going to be a little bit windy, but it progresses as the day goes on. So, but Justin Rose, definitely my second top 20 plus 180 for 1 unit. My third one, I'll go right into it. It is Lucas Glover for plus 220. I'm going to go a half unit there. Just another ball striker that has absolutely been. I think this number is kind of not criminal, but I thought it would be more towards the plus 180 range where Justin is. But 220, I'm okay with that. Strokes gained, ball striking. I think he was number 1 last year in approach as well. Obviously, you're going to always have the good old swamp ass putts that he struggles with, but I'm good with the ball striking here. He has got some. He played last week, another plus. I think he was 29th or something like that last week, and then he does have a top 5 finish at this course, so I could see it. Not going to take an outright there with Lucas Glover, but I think plus 220 is a great top 20 bet.
Yeah, I kind of liked him this week too in that
he's
range.
He's popping like in every model that I've seen.
Yeah,
so that's good to see.
Yeah, I went with a lot more off course history, so I'm going with Kuchar at that same number plus 220. It's a little risky, but he does play well here.
Kuchar loves this place.
He loves this place, and this is going to be my one and done. I'll just put that out there.
Ooh.
So I'm getting into one and done this year. First week doing it, so we'll see how that goes. I'm really just hoping for like a top 20 out of them, obviously.
Did I tell you how my one and done finished last year?
Yeah, you had tied, and he had Scheffler. You had Harmon, right?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
I had like a 40-point lead too.
Mm-hmm.
And then you picked
Scheffler.
I took Scheffler when he finished like top 5, and then I said because you had to pick one guy for like the next like 3 outings, and I had Harmon, and he was doing well, but then the guy had Scheffler and just absolutely shit on me at the last one, and I was like, that sucked.
For Kuchar though, we can read his course history. It's pretty insane. 2 top 7s last 2 years, 2 cuts, 1 win, and then 5 top 10s, all back to back.
Oh,
so yeah, it's I don't think he didn't play last week, so he's kind of just coming in fresh. But he loves the place. It seems like he starts off hot. So I really wouldn't use him anywhere else in one and done anyway. So it's kind of a great spot for him, and especially in the top 20 market as well.
I like it. So let's go over some chalk here for some DFS. So I use everything Occupy Fantasy. Make sure you guys check those guys out. Brian over there and the crew do a great job. They do, and Niramata, shout out to him. He is their golf guru. And if you look at, I'm just basing off of their model here. You got the top 5 guys are in ownership wise: Henley, Connors, Kirk, JT, Poston, and Svensson. Those guys, and then you have Aberg, Young, Yun, On, Putnam, Harmon, Cole, and Todd. So those are the top guys in their model. Their top ownership guys in their model. For what I'm gonna do, I'm kind of gonna fade a majority of these guys besides Connors. I think I'm gonna eat the ownership on Connors, and probably Kirk, throw him in there. But everyone, maybe Svensson, but like Aberg, Harmon, Cole, Todd, and Hatton. Todd almost made the card, but I was like, I'm staying away. But like Hatton, all those guys up top that are getting a lot of ownership, going to ultimately fade them. And I like the guys that are more in like the 8K range that can go, that I think they can go pretty low. You got guys like obviously Justin Rose, who I'm on. He's 8,200. You got Keegan Bradley at 8,000. Kuchar 7,800, Glover 7,700. So you have all these guys in kind of that range. And if you want to go any higher, Kirk 9,500 is right there if you want to. But Connor's priced up at 9,800. But other than that, I'm probably not even getting up to that 10,000 range. So a little bit different strategy I'm going to go this week. But I think there's a lot of value, especially this wide open tournament, that just because you're listed very high with the odds doesn't mean you're the best golfer in the field, I think.
Right.
I think this is a wide open tournament, and there's some good value and some. Hold on. What do you think of Will Zalatoris? We haven't got to play him in a while, or have to deal with him. What do you think about him this week?
Well, first I saw he was like 95 to 1 to win. Someone got, or I saw a couple 90 to 1s. First of all, that's crazy, but
That's wild.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't play him here. You just gotta kind of see. I mean, he's coming off back surgery, so you can't really touch him until he like shows any form. So I mean, there's no rush. Like hopefully he can kind of get going when March and April hit, where majors and like elevated tournaments start coming in. You kind of feel confident, taking him and seeing like where he's at with his game. So I would like to see him do good this week. I just don't know where he's at. So
yeah, I mean that's probably ultimately the same there. I can't trust him. Haven't seen him playing forever.
Yeah, and it's not like a thing like I'm not going to be mad if he wins. Like, oh, I missed out. Like, if it happens, you know what I mean? Like, you just got to see it first.
Yep. All right, so let's get into our outrights. We got. I'm gonna have 3. How many you got?
I'll go 3 as well.
3 as well. Okay. So I've been talking about this guy all stream. My one and done. Obviously, we're gonna go Justin Rose, 35 to 1. I can't believe I cannot believe I saw that number. I thought it was going to be in the 2s. And then I saw that number. I was like, okay, I got to play this guy. Even though, he might not win. That's why I'm doubling up, taking his top 20 at plus 180 as well. But yeah, all my outrights are 0.2 units. So make sure you guys play those accordingly. Don't go heavy on those outrights unless you got a big bankroll. But there's no need to go nuts on a 3,500 or 35 to 1 odd bet. But yeah, Justin Rose is my first outright. Who you got for your first one?
So I mean, you talked about him already. Corey Connors, I'm doing at 30 to 1. I did plug it into my model this week, but it's not too relevant because I did the last 24 rounds. I can't really do last 50 because no one's played this year yet. It's not really gonna show you, but in the model, he was around 20. He's always a good ball striker. He can make birdies if he can, make putts. So. Also strokes gained par 4. He's, I think, top 10 in the field. So, and then also I think 5 top 20s in his last 5 starts here. So he's finishing well, just hasn't really finished the deal. And a good thing I actually looked at in those 4 where he got top 20, he's only lost on putting, strokes putting 1 time. So maybe it kind of clicks here. Obviously, that's a very like niche stat, like it can vary from week to week, but you kind of like when you see Connors putting well at, a certain course. So,
right. I like it. I mean, I'm on his top 20. I'm good with the outright. I would hope that he hits the outright for sure. Yeah. I'm going to play him heavily in DFS. I'm going to have a lot of Corey Connors, a lot of Justin Rose lineups. And I want to see Rose's Rose's ownership is 14%, which is very spread out. So it's not bad at all. And then, like I said, Connors is up in the 20%. But yeah, Rose I think is the best value play on the slate at 8,200, only getting 14%. Another guy that I was on late last year, reluctantly. I don't know why. I was just like I missed it. I missed his really good run, and then I kind of got the back end. But I'm going to go early on here. Denny McCarthy, 30 and again 35 to 1. There's some good golfers at that 35 to 1 range. So that's where that's where I'm targeting. McCarthy, Matsuyama's there, Todd, Harris English, Rose, Thigala, Siwoo Kim, who won it last year. They're all right there, and I think this is where majority of the winners are going to come from. So, but I like Denny McCarthy here, 35 to 1. Played last week, I believe, at the Century. Yep, got 43rd. Okay numbers here. Got 32 and 48 last 2 times out here. But just like his game overall to fit this course very well. I want to say, let's see what his ownership is. So he's right at the 14%. He's right. He's 8,400 on DK. So another somewhat value play in that 8,000 range that I'm looking to attack. So give me Denny McCarthy 35 to 1. So 2 35 to 1s to start. So we'll see. Usually I'm a little bit more conservative and I go for like these 16 to 1 or 14 to 1 guys. But hey, we ain't got to worry about John Rahm anymore.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? I was so pissed
Crazy.
when that news came out.
I know. And
But
plus,
you ain't got to worry about it.
I know. Plus, the board started at like 18 this week, so it's like it's
Yeah.
kind of all spread out. But just to kind of go off of the middle of the pack, like you were saying, I'm going Brendan Todd at 40 to 1. I mean, he's a short driver of the golf ball. I think he's 9th in good drives in the model, 22nd in par fours from 400 to 450. He also got a new caddy. It was Cam Young's from last year.
Oh boy.
So he should be able to kind of help him out a little bit. But he's just a steady guy. He's a good putter. He actually hasn't really played that well here. He's got a couple T21s and a T20. So it's just kind of a stab at a 40 to 1. I'm not really expecting to win, but I kind of like the value there. Kind of missed out on some, but I still like 40. So
I'm good with that. My last one here, I kind of threw it together, and I think he's been okay here. And usually I like to get this guy on the East Coast, but I'm gonna go with the early season Keegan Bradley at 50 to 1. 50 to 1 here. Played last week as well. I got 45th. So I'm targeting those guys that were like 33, 44, 45 last week. So hopefully they play better this week. But you got a couple missed cuts, but then you have some 12s and 29s and 39s mixed in. He's been playing this course ever since 2011. So he's got a lot of course experience. I think a 50 to 1 number here is still some value because this guy can play. Plain and simple, he can strike the ball. He can putt very well. Usually I just wait to see it first, but I think I'm going to jump on it. And I think Keegan Bradley at 50 to 1 is pretty solid odds to take on for an outright. I want to say his ownership isn't quite as bad as I thought either. Yeah, 13% at 8,000. So again, another 8,000 DK salary golfer, another mid-tier ownership guy that I'm going for. As you can see, we're not going the stars and scrubs lineup method this week. I don't think you need to. I think there's a bunch of value on the board over on DraftKings for DFS style. So make sure you guys attack it that way when you guys make your lineups. Who's your last outright?
Yeah, I mean we're thinking the same way this week. I got a 50 to 1 as well, but on Matt Kuchar. So it's kind of like, just kind of attacking the middle of the board there. I mean, I already talked about this guy. I guess if, he plays bad, I go down with him this week because I got him in a lot of things. So I'm not really expecting, 50 to 1 is a pretty good number on him. I'm not really expecting him to win, but, I hope he plays as well. I could definitely see like one of those top 10s. Little nervous for the first round because he's in the afternoon. Hopefully he can kind of, put up like a respectable number in those windy conditions. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I like that number on him.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of Cooch. I always like to play him. He's only 10% owned DFS, $7,800. So right in line with the strategy of this week to attack. So make sure you guys throw Kuchar in your lineups. Do not mind that whatsoever. His course history is just insane.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's it's crazy.
But yeah, so let's give a couple first round leaders before we get out of here. I'm going to target my first one. I'm looking at is one guy I'm on outright. We're going to go Denny McCarthy. He's one of the first groups to tee off, so I think he's got one of the clear advantages. So I'm going on these early tee times. I believe, what is he at currently for round one? McCarthy at 50 to 1. 50 to 1. Denny McCarthy, first round leader, I think is a very, very good bet here. One of the first, actually, he is the first to tee off on the first tee. So they're going to do like one goes off on the first tee and the other one goes off on the 10th tee. So at the same time. So you're going to have two different waves. But you got a particular first round leader you're looking at?
So I'll say I'll leave that to you this year, but like I'm staying away from FRLs, but I'll give a couple guys that I think
these are like $5 bets that were just
that's true. It's just for fun. Maybe I'll throw one in for like a major or something. But
yeah,
really, I think you can't really go wrong with Russell Henley for a first round leader or kind of a sleeper, JJ Spawn. He's been playing pretty decent, and
He can always go low very early.
that's the thing with him. He's obviously very inconsistent, but I mean, you're only looking for one round, so you can get that 8 under, 9 under round from JJ Spawn pretty easily. So that's all you need. But those are two guys I definitely would target.
I'm good with JJ Spawn for sure. Who's the other? Well, who's the other guy?
Russell Henley.
Henley, that's what you said.
Always got to go Russell Henley,
Always, definitely always.
Yeah.
All right, let's go one more.
I didn't even check if they're in the morning wave, so I don't know if they're afternoon.
They're in the morning. You're good.
Okay, so yeah, that makes me like it even better. So
I'm gonna go Byung An. Is that how you say it? Young.
Yeah.
Byung An. Yeah. He's 45 to 1. Another guy, I think he can go low early on in the morning wave. Yeah. What did he go last week? I think he was. Was he top 20?
Top 5, I think.
Was he top 5? Yeah. I'm gonna go him. I wanted to take Justin Rose, but I have too much invested in him. I'm not gonna do a first round leader.
Yeah,
but I could see it.
Yeah.
What's his ownership? Young.
Who? Which one?
He's 19%. Byung Hung. 19%.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So yeah, for good measure. Let's see if he gets off to a good start there. I'm good with that. But we got he was 45 to 1. So we got McCarthy 50 to 1. We got the Byung Hung An 45 to 1 for the first round leaders. And you got some matchups you want to give out to end the show?
Say the one tournament, I usually kind of look at these after, but the one tournament matchup I found on, I think, Bet365, which I know probably a lot of people, I kind of just shop, because the matchups can be different, varying. Like if you use a local, DraftKings, stuff like that. But I shopped around for it, and I love this one. It's Kuchar minus 115 over Akshay Bhatia. Seems too good to be true, but like I love that one. I could be falling too much in love with Kuchar this week, but I think that's, given the course history and given Akshay, kind of inconsistence off the tee, I'll take that any day of the week at that price. So
is that a full tournament one?
That's full tournament, yeah.
Full tournament, yeah. Because you can go round by round for sure.
Yeah.
I want to.
And I'm just looking now at some more tournament matchups. If I'm just scrolling through my local, I will say one of my biggest fades of the week is Matt Fitzpatrick. So if you guys want, always look to fade him in a tournament matchup or something. I just think he's never played here, and his game doesn't really fit here either. He's kind of, his misses left, and you can't really miss left on this course. There's a lot of like penal rough and penal areas left, and that's usually overdraws or overhooks. That's his miss. So
yeah, I'm basically fading Hatton, Fitzpatrick, Aberg. I want to include Harmon, but I think I'm going to stay away. And those main four, like the top 4 guys who are favored to win this tournament, I'm out on them. Like, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, I kind of agree with it, but it's tough. Yeah, those, like, they have Connors over Harmon. I don't know if I would touch that, but you could go that route. But yeah, I'm just looking through some, like Kirk over Thigala could be a good one. So yeah.
Yeah, I think we got some good positions this week. I wanted to find some like Eagle bets, but if I do, I'll post those in the Discord for you guys.
Yeah,
so.
I think Prize Picks would have that. This is a tournament matchup that's interesting. If you bet this, there's something wrong with you. Billy Horschel versus Will Zalatoris.
Oh boy,
I don't think I would touch that if my life depended on it.
Who can get to plus 10 first?
Yeah, really. That is true.
All right, so we got Corey Connors, Justin Rose, Lucas Glover, the top 20 to recap for me. And then I got Justin Rose, McCarthy, and Keegan Bradley as outrights. Well, you want to repeat yours?
Yep.
Before we get out of here?
Yeah, top 20s. I got Chris Kirk at plus 140. Should be around that number still. Justin Rose plus 180. Matt Kuchar plus 220. I think it's still there. And then Corey Connors, Brendan Todd, and Matt Kuchar for outrights.
Boom. There it is. First Sony Open, first tournament in the books. Let's see if we can get an outright. Let's see if we can get some winners. Appreciate everybody tuning in. If you guys have any additional questions, make sure you guys hit us up on X. I think they call it X now. Is it Twitter?
Yeah. Yep.
It's the stupidest thing in the world.
I know.
But yeah, hit us up on there. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll get up and out of here. Next week is what?
Tuesday.
The Farmers?
I'll have to double check, but I thought the Farmers was a little later, but
see, this is how prepared we are.
I know we're not looking that far ahead.
We can't look that far ahead, but it will be on Tuesday night, and it'll be at we'll stick at 7:30. We can make those work. So Tuesday night, 7:30. This week's live stream for NFL is going to be actually Friday night. So I'm going to do a live stream on Friday night for you guys. It won't be Sunday morning because we need to make sure we get all the bets in for Saturday and Sunday wild card weekend. So appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see you guys Friday night, and we'll be back next Tuesday to get after it.
It's the American Express, by the way, next week.
The American Express tournament. Duh, of course. Yep. All right, let's get some winners. We appreciate you guys tuning in. See you guys next week.
All right.